Where is my card in the rankings? Do I have the best card in the tier? Is my Drake Maverick the best? Spoiler, no. But people ask, where is it ranked in the tier? Every single stream I at least get 1 or 2 questions, comment sections, Twitter, everywhere. Well, this is the complete list for you of the best and worst, not just males, but females to go along with it. Before I get started in this though, I want to say a huge thank you to not only 2K Goku on Twitter, who hit me up with the list of the best and worst, but also the SmackDown Hotel, because I'm doing this a little bit differently this time, and I'm showcasing their overall catalogue of WWE SuperCards that you can check out yourself by going to the SmackDown Hotel. They've even got stat comparisons, and they even keep an update on Money in the Bank cards and many other event cards that come up. And before we get started, if you like what you see with these top 10s and best and worst ofs, make sure you're smashing the like button, subscribing to the channel, and turning your notifications on. Also, don't forget whilst you're there to comment in the comment section below with who you think should be the best and worst of the tier. I'm expecting a lot of Brock Lesnar's at the bottom and a lot of Bray Wyatt's or The Fiend at the top. It's just gonna happen, especially after SummerSlam. Let's get started though with the best and worst of the ladies. We're gonna go from worst to best in this video. We're gonna cover off the bottom 3 first, and there's not really too much of a surprise to say that Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir are both in the bottom 3. Now, Jessamyn Duke actually ties up with Liv Morgan, which, as you can see here, she's not got the best stats, but she's a speed and charisma card, which there's not many actually in the tier that have speed and charisma as far as I'm aware. But Jessamyn Duke, toughness and speed card, it's good just to see her in SummerSlam 19 tier. And I'm going to say this a couple of times, I really like the fact they're using a lot of the new NXT superstars in this list. Moving on from that, I mentioned Marina Shafir. She also makes a debut here. Power and charisma is actually a trait not many others have, so she could be very, very useful. Although the worst in this tier is actually incredibly surprising. Nikki Cross. Are you kidding me? Nikki Cross, the Women's Tag Team Champion, is the worst female in the tier. What are you guys watching, Cat Daddy? Seriously. Seriously. This girl should be like mid-tier at worst. As we got the rankings, you got the likes of Biddy K, Kairi Sane, then a grouping together of Peyton Royce, you can see here, one of my favourite images in the tier, and Io Shirai. Not to mention Carmella. I'm a little surprised she's up there, even if she is a former Women's Champion and Women's Money in the Bank holder. Going up the list, you have the likes of Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler making another return, although I personally would have had Shayna Baszler in the top 3, and I would have moved Ronda Rousey just outside. The reasons being, Ronda Rousey hasn't been around since WrestleMania. Who knows how good she'd be if she came back to the ring right now, whereas Shayna Baszler is on a tear with the NXT Women's Championship and hasn't lost it since she regained it. Just outside the top 5, Asuka and Bayley knocking on the door of a certain Ronda Rousey, but it is very clear as day who are the very best of the females in SummerSlam 19 tier, and that is starting off with Ronda Rousey. Now, this really isn't much of a surprise. I will say it's not too far of a difference. In fact, it's 1 point difference between Ronda and Charlotte Flair, who makes it a number 2. But both cards are pretty damn good. And for the first time ever, as you would have seen, Charlotte Flair is a right arrow. And that goes for number 1 as well, who is Becky Lynch. This is a left arrow. Very, very, very good speed and charisma. The only other speed and charisma card, I think, other than, someone's going to correct me here, other than Liv Morgan. So, Liv Morgan's usefulness in this tier is pretty much null. Even if you got a pro for it, it's pretty damn good. But Becky Lynch tops the list. Best female in the tier. Let me know if you got any of the females in the comments section below. Regardless of rankings, it's more important of what your favourite card is. Me personally, I can't wait to see Io Shirai in her new gimmick and new outfit come into the scene. But also you got the likes of Nikki Cross, hopefully going up in the next tier given she's now a tag team champion for Alexa Bliss, even with the return of a certain Sasha Banks, who is probably going to be their next Raw Women's Champion. let's be honest. Now we start off with the men, and there is a lot of surprises on both sides, and we're going to talk about all those. Let's start off with the 10th worst in the tier. Nice and simple. Expected 100%. Eric from the Viking Spirit note. You know what? Whoever they are, the Viking people, Eric. That sounds like the village people. Damn, it could have YMCA, but in Scandinavian. Moving on, number 9 is Elias. Again, not surprising, but he is now a 24/7 champion, a 3-time 24/7 champion. And I can see a lot of 24/7 champions making up the bottom parts of the tiers going forward. Next is a 4-way, starting off with Jordan Miles, moving on to Robert Roode, Sami Zayn, and Zach Gibson. Now, I am incredibly surprised that Zach Gibson is this low. I expected him to be much, much higher than this. So let's go to Sami Zayn. It's the last one we're going to look at. And I'm really surprised, although the image is absolutely killer, because it's a brand new image of Sami Zayn. I still don't know why SuperCard Cat Daddy 2K don't like this guy. Seriously. He is the bomb, but he does keep losing matches. So I can kind of understand. Moving on next to Cesaro. Bit surprised. Would have thought it'd be higher given everything that's gone on with him and Aleister Black. But I can see where they're coming from. Luke Gallows and Rowan. You may remember Rowan has been in the most recent event as the Heroic card. Not really surprised you're going for some of the lower cards here. And you've also got, as I mentioned, Luke Gallows, which I can only imagine 2K are absolutely furious. He has changed his attire since this point. Well, not SuperCard, but probably 2K are, given the game is coming out very, very soon. Just underneath these guys is Isaiah Scott, or Swerve, as he's better known as, who comes in at 5th worst in the tier. There's a double ranking coming up at number 4 worst in the tier, and that is Carl Anderson and Otis Dozovic. Guessing that these rankings are probably made before the club or the OC were reformed. And you can see him there. Moving on to Otis. But you know what? I think they've done Otis and Tucker dirty here. But if we find Otis, I think they've done Otis and Tucker dirty in this tier, but you know, at least they're funny on TV. Personally, I think they should be going for a SmackDown Tag Team title shot. And you know what? Give it to them. Otis is just too funny to leave wasting away on the roster. Now, this I hate to see, because this is just... Dude, really? Dolph Ziggler is the 2nd worst in the tier. Did someone accidentally put the wrong numbers in? Because that just don't make no sense. 2nd worst in the tier. Just what is that? Then we have the worst. It's kind of like a James Ellsworth in WrestleMania 33 tier. Drake Maverick, 24/7 champion, old manager of the God, AOP haven't been around for ages. Authors of Pain, 205 Live general manager, Drake Maverick with the roll up, and I love the fact that his finisher is the roll up. That's just made my day. There's some very interesting rankings here. In fact, if you go above the bottom 10, you've got the likes of Keith Lee, Jey Uso, James Drake, Ivar, Drew Gulak, Dash Wilder, and Angelo Dawkins all showing up just above the top 10. Not to mention the likes of Xavier Woods, Scott Dawson. We've got a ton of different superstars showing up all over the place. But we want to get to the big ones. And the big one is the best in the tier, which obviously is my man R-Truth. He's a 12-time 25. I'm joking. He really isn't the best in the tier. But goddamn it, he's got a decent card. He's mid-tier. And just a quick shout out to Kushida. He's going to be one of the biggest stars in I almost said NJPW, NXT going forward and on the main roster if Vince McMahon doesn't get his hands on him. One other big surprise I saw is that Baron Corbin, yes, Baron Corbin is just outside the top 10 at number 11, along with Big E and Drew McIntyre. So it's not too bad, but still. Baz Corpse? Really? Okay, fine. Okay, top 10 coming in with, first of all, Damien Priest and Mustafa Ali. Now, I'm surprised they've put Damien Priest up this high. I'm very happy that he's a power and charisma card, especially with the lack of a Triple H in this tier. But if we then move on to Ali, again, I don't understand why he's so high up in the tier. He's not really done much since getting injured. I don't think he's actually come back from injury yet. But, you know, what could we say? What could we say other than, you know, he deserved it when he was at the top, but now he's kind of dropped down a little bit. Maybe they should reconsider putting maybe mid-tier next time. Coming up is a 4-way tie, which includes, and I'm very happy to say, the re-emergence in the top 10 of a certain Shinsuke Nakamura, who I love his image on the card. It's great. And I'm very happy for this, even if it is because he's the Intercontinental Champion. I don't mind. Kurt Angle then pops in. I don't know how, you know, are they treating him as Kurt Angle or are they treating him as old Kurt? I don't know. But it looks almost TNA-like, that image. Moving on to Kevin Owens, who also ties with Kurt Angle. And that's not really surprising given the tear he's on at the moment. And his stats are so close together as well. He's almost like an overall card. He's an overall machine. I can't wait to get one card that's like across the stat is almost literally the same. I remember back in season 1 where they used to have cards that were like best in power and speed, but would proc in toughness and charisma. That was freaking awesome because then you could have that cards that had all stats covered, and that was sick. Sideways move now to Andrade, who is also tying with the 3 named mentions before, as we then move on to Aleister Black. Again, very much deserved at that place. Now we go up one more step to a 3-way tie between not only Ricochet and Randy Orton, but also Daniel Bryan. So let's first of all check out Ricochet, fan favorite, obviously. Can't cut a promo to save his life, well, not in WWE anyway, but he's fantastic. Randy Orton, who is always going to be an in-ring legend. It's amazing to think that even though this guy is a bona fide legend, Hall of Famer, one of the biggest stars WWE have ever created, he is still an active wrestler and he's got many more years in the ring yet. And Daniel Bryan shows up as well. Kind of dropped down a little bit from previous tiers, but his charisma is still high, and that's what we... Trust me, the stats get wild in a second. We got Walter with probably not the greatest image of himself, but he's still top the United Kingdom champion. Hopefully for not too long. Mixing it up with Finn Balor in the same place. The North American champion, Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole, and very happy to say this, the brand new, redeveloped Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt. Now this is what I'm talking about. He has never been in the top 10 for any tier before this, and now he is. Surprising they didn't keep the left arrow, but, you know, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain too much. I'm not going to complain too much. I'll just take the fact that he is in the top 10 as a really, really good thing. Velveteen Dream, Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt, and Adam Cole all make up that position. Then Shawn Michaels and Kofi Kingston come in at number 4. I don't know if I like the fact that him and AJ Styles are on the same rankings, because he also comes in at the same place at number 4 and with Shawn Michaels. I personally would have had Shawn Michaels a little bit higher. Moving on up to Seth freaking Rollins and his former Shield partner, although we can't talk about the other one anymore because he has been deleted from the game, and that is Roman Reigns and Seth freaking Rollins, the new Universal Champion. And there's not much really to say about Roman Reigns other than he's Roman Reigns. Now we come to the familiar suspects, at number 2 being the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. He almost gets over 98,000 on all stats. But the big ones, number 1, which is shared this time, there's no unique number 1 like there has been previously. We have Stone Cold Steve Austin, who is an absolute monster, and The Undertaker, because he's always at the top. And if you got yourself one of these, feel very, very grateful. But that is the top 10, best and worst, and the full list of the females. I want to say a huge thank you to the SmackDown Hotel and to 2K Goku for helping us out. You go check out the SmackDown Hotel now by going on to Google. Just type in the links there, or you can click on the link in the description and comment section below. Let me know what you're for about this list in the comment section below, and like the video if you like what you see. Subscribe to the channel to see more of it, and turn notifications on so you don't miss a single video. I've been SuperZombGBBQ. You've been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.